Well then, let's give you an insight of what happened earlier today at the APC, the All Progressives Congress National Headquarters in Abuja. Well, it was an interesting scene for those who were not expecting the National Secretary of the Caretaker Committee to appear, Senator Akpan Uduade, but he did. He was there earlier today amidst the company of his allies and armed security personnel. His return to the Secretariat comes days after Niger State Governor Abubakar Bello summoned the Secretariat with some APC governors and announced that he was the acting national chairman of the CECPC of the party, a move believed to mean the ousting of Governor Memala Boni of Yobe State as the chairman of the committee. After resuming at the Secretariat, Senator Uduade issued a statement insisting that the party remains united and strong and that Governor Boni remains in charge with the committee working to ensure the party's national convention holds on the 26th of March 2022. Last Monday, reports emerged that Governor Boni had been sacked while Akpan Uduade was no longer the CECPC secretary. Take a listen to the secretary, Senator Akpan Uduade.
That our party is resilient and stronger than ever, and there is no trouble anywhere in our party. I have made a press release, which I will circulate to all of you with a press statement, and that's all I can say for now. Thank you.
It wasn't up to a minute, yes. When we were previewing this tape, I thought there was a mistake from those who covered the event. But actually, that was all Senator Akpan Uduade said earlier today. Well, for those who believe that more isn't less, maybe we'll be finding out if truly in the things that he did not say, there are more to it. Let's get talking about this one tonight. I have a panel to discuss this tonight with me. I have a chieftain of the APC, Senator Abubakar Agada. Thank you so much, distinguished senator, for coming tonight.
Thank you for the invitation.
And I have a political analyst, Mr. Jide Ojo. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
And from our Lagos studio is a lawyer and a political strategist, Mr. Curtis Adigba. Thank you so much, Mr. Adigba, for coming tonight.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
I think I should begin with you, Mr. Adigba. For those, last week, Monday, was exactly a week ago when we saw Governor Bello appeared at the Secretariat and said, look, I'm now the acting national chairman. And words were coming out that Governor Boni had been booted out. In fact, we had Governor El-Rufai say here that the president had wanted Governor Boni out and wanted Bello to take over the Emma's affairs. And it was also part of the reading of the temperature of things that Senator Akpan Uduade was also going towards the exit door. From your own reading, from the legal point of view, and what has been happening in the APC, the return of Senator Akpan Uduade on the back of the statement that came out in the weekend from President Muhammadu Buhari about the situation of things, do you think that there is a new twist?
There is what?
Do you feel that there is a new twist? Maybe the Boni team are coming back.
Well, I would rather say it this way. Sean, it does not matter if the cat is black or white. What matters is if it catches mice. Now, don't forget that the party was basically stagnant. Nobody was sure whether the party's convention was going to hold or not hold. Now, what the El-Rufai group did that brought in Bello, who is part of the original team, to do what he did so far, and now what is happening, that the Boni group are also coming back and promising to work in the same direction, shows that something happened within the party that is working. And so my position is that thing should continue to go on and let the party move forward. Now, if the president, based on the information that was available to him, agreed with the El-Rufai faction of the party and I hope they are one now, like the senator just said, made the move that he made, triggered certain actions within the party. We had the state exco sworn in, the chairman of the party at the 36th state level sworn in. The list of zoning was released. It showed that there was a movement. And if the president, now realizing that in the context of the reality that we have on ground, based on the rules that might prevent the party from moving forward, now understands and feels that all members of the party must behave themselves and that there's a need to come back to base, and that also has achieved certain results, so be it. What is important is that the party is moving forward and the party is going to hold its convention and members are coming together, which is key.
Senator Gada, for you, because what is emerging now is a story that some leaders of the party are already going to London to see President Buhari. One after the other, they're going. Those are the stories that we are hearing. Does it look like the president has changed his mind from the earlier instruction that Governor Bello should take over? Now we're seeing the Buni team coming in.
You see, Mr. Seun, my brother from Lagos, Mr. Adigba, he virtually and absolutely said all that my mind would have said. And so I give it to him that he made a wonderful contribution from Lagos. And simply for the next 1 hour, whatever we will be saying will only be paraphrasing what my brother Adigba have said. Simple, because there's nothing to add, except if we need any other specifics that maybe to elaborate, because he has fundamentally said everything. You understand? The
question I asked is a bit different from what I asked him. And the question I asked you, I'm asking because you're chieftain of the party.
Yeah.
As a very senior member of the party, yeah. I was asking that there are some members, leaders of the party that have gone to London to meet President Buhari. And it does look like there was a change of mind as far as the body language of the president in the instructions are concerned, and the things that the event of the last few days is concerned. It does look like there is a change, there is a new twist. And I'm asking you, that does it look like President has reabsorbed Governor Bunin based on the earlier instruction that he should be let out?
See, like I'm still coming back to my brother. The dynamics of politics changes by the minute. Mr. President, being the father of the party, will always have to take decisions based on the reality, based on what is before him. And then you also look at the larger picture and take a position or give a direction. And this is exactly what Mr. President has. Going to London or not going to London is not an issue. What is important is the party requires certain level of interventions for things to move in the direction that Nigerians expect. And Mr. President, as a father, leader of the party, will have simply to create that atmosphere for...
so you don't think the president has changed his mind?
What has he done to have changed the mind?
From someone who said, Buni go, Bello come. Yeah. And now, a few days after, now the Buni team looks like coming back.
You have to go back to see the procedure for changing leadership in the party. We have a constitution.
So you think maybe the president made an error in his judgment?
No. It is you. Maybe your perception could be wrong.
It is. I'm not a member of your party.
Hey, but so you could have this is your perception. What you are saying is a product of your perception.
Is it a matter of perception or a matter of the reality of what happened?
It's a matter of perception.
Why do politicians think that the rest of us don't know what we're saying?
No. When
you are the players. Yes. Your party was in sometimes there was an instruction earlier that Governor Buni should go. Yeah. But now we're seeing that Governor Buni is to be left to get back. And a simple question, Senator.
Who gave the instruction?
Governor Nasir Rufai, that same spot we're sitting, sat here last week to say the instruction from President Buhari is that Governor Bello should take over.
Okay, I think you could call him to review that, because I know the change of leadership in a party is procedural, is constitutional, and is conventional. And so any other things to the contrary will beat my imagination.
I know you to be a very conservative person. You are most conservative today. Keep it up. Let me continue, Mr. Ojo. From your own reading as an external person, what do you think has changed in the last few days? A lot of things that seem to have changed.
Definitely, a lot has changed. A lot has changed from first, the change was brought about by that letter from INEC. That was the game changer.
Yeah.
Because the Bello team wrote to INEC to say, we are going to be having a NEC meeting on the 17th, which is Thursday, and we want your presence. And INEC raised two key issues. First is that to HIT or to INEC, it does not recognize those who signed that letter, inviting it to that NEC meeting of March 17. Two, INEC cited Section 82, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022 to wit that any meeting, congress, convention, merger, any conference that you need to do as a political party, you must give INEC 21 days. And INEC raised that issue that I think it got the letter on the 8th, and you are going to be having this event on the 17th. So mathematically, you have not met the threshold of 21 days. And so what was implied, but which was not stated in that INEC letter, is Section 82, subsection 5, which says, in the event that you didn't meet the provision of Section 82, subsection 1
of 21 days pre-notice.
Of 21 days, whatever you do is a nullity. So from that February 25th, 2022, the dynamics of the demands of INEC from political party has changed. And wide range of
they argued, APC will argue and say, look, that section talks about election, congresses, convention.
And meetings.
Meetings relating to, that's how it was couched, that clause was. Relating to election, meetings, convention, congress, relating to change of office, change in leadership,
but they were
and
going to confirm Bello's takeover on March 17. That's what NEC was going to do.
Does it now look like maybe they were being instructed by that clause to say, look, you cannot do it.
That's what we're saying.
To come back.
Because it's not just an ordinary meeting that is going to hold on March 17.
It's an affirmation.
It was an affirmation. Because the question that has been raised is that, look, NEC is the only one. NEC was the one that gave birth to Buni CPC on June 25, 2020. And if there will be a change, like the senator is referring, if there is going to be a change of leadership, it should be by the same procedure. So NEC has to meet. And the NEC meeting is scheduled for March 17. But ironically, they have not been able to meet two key ingredients that will allow that meeting to hold without being in breach. The first being that the person who should, and this is why APC shot itself in the foot. There was a claim that Buni officially wrote an handover letter, which Bello claimed he never received, which obviously did not get to INEC. Because if the letter got to INEC, INEC would not be saying in that letter back to APC leadership that we do not recognize who you are and your capacity in which you are signing this letter.
Let me see if we can show the two letters and probably make a sense out of it. The first one being the INEC, this is it. So this is the response of INEC to APC and citing the section 82, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act, which is asking that 21 days be given for the purpose, it says for issue of Congress, any convention, congress, conference, or meeting convened for the purpose of merger and electing members of its executive committee, other governing bodies of the party. So, if you look at the wordings of this, let me bring back Mr. Adigba. Mr. Adigba, from the wordings of this letter, What can you relate? How can you relate with it, considering the situation of things?
Okay, so before I speak to the letters, let me quickly make a point about the coming back of Buni. I think Buni never left at any point in time. Let's look at the clear picture. We have a situation where it was claimed that Buni had written a letter to Bello, a member of his committee, saying, "You act because I'm not going to be in the country." Now, Bello moved into the office and was acting, all right? And when the impression was created that Bello had become the substantive chairman in place of Buni, that letter came out saying, no, but Buni had handed over to Bello. Now, if that occurred, and Bello said, I didn't get the letter, and INEC did not get the letter, then the question one should be asking is, was the letter an afterthought or not? If it is not so, the letter by INEC is deeply troubling, and people will not understand the implication of that letter right now. INEC is bogged down by things that should not concern INEC in the first place. Why should INEC be involved in all the meetings that political parties hold in this country? First of all, they don't have the resources, human or material, to be able to do all that. And we should be looking at the situation whereby INEC, as a matter of fact, should not be in a position to dictate to a political party who the leader of that party should be at any point in time. That's the internal affair of a political party. And so, because the Electoral Act provides that INEC will all have to be involved in all this, we're having this conflict right now. But I think this is something we must watch for the future. The Federal Electoral Commission in the United States is not involved in all these kind of things. They don't even conduct election. They just lay down the guidelines for political parties to follow. Okay? And how you raise your funds and spend the funds, the violations, the limits, and that is what they are concerned with. That's why you don't hear the Federal Electoral Commission announce who is the winner of an election, either at the presidential level or at the governorship level. These are local matters for local authorities. Now, coming to these letters, you can see the intrigue that is being played around the convention, and all because a particular group want to ensure that its interest is protected, and the other group is fighting to ensure that their own interest is protected. My position is very simple. INEC wrote that letter latching onto the intrigue in the party just to ensure that the party cannot move forward. And I'm saying that looking at the Electoral Act that we are all celebrating is going to help the future elections, is going to improve substantially the electoral process. There are landmines in the that electoral law that we'll begin to see as we move forward. The truth is that political parties should have the liberty to hold their meetings and then send the outcome of those meetings to INEC. INEC cannot...
Mr. Adigba, because of your legal knowledge, let me ask you, is this letter a kind of a landmine for the APC?
Yes.
If, for example, Mr. Bello, the governor of Niger State, presides over the NEC on Thursday,
yes,
and if the party holds a NEC and makes any decision relating based on the section that the INEC has brought out to APC, could it be a problem lying in wait for the APC?
Of course, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem based on the provision of the laws. But the point I'm trying to make is, if Bello was acting, and don't forget that Mr. President said Bello should act in place of Buni, right? And Buni said, I sent a letter to Bello to act in my place. So the question is, if Bello was acting in the place of Buni, why can't Bello write a letter to INEC and that letter be recognized? That's my number one point. Now, my number 2 point is that why should INEC be involved in all the meetings of a political party? That is overreaching. Because political parties should be independent.
Isn't that what the law has provided? That INEC must supervise
That's what I'm saying,
election and activities of all the political parties.
And this is
it's enshrined in the law, isn't it?
Yes, I agree with you, but I'm looking at the future. And this is why we're having problem conducting election. We're moving from one group of error to another group of errors from time to time. Because of the political pressure that certain law must be passed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So nobody is paying attention to the details of this law. For instance, if you then say that INEC must be involved in all meetings of a political party, and that if INEC is not involved or present, the meetings are not valid, or the meetings cannot do anything that will be acceptable to INEC. Do you understand what I'm saying? What happens if INEC is unable to provide staff or members to attend these meetings? Can we say that the parties will continue to wait until INEC is in a position to do so? What is important is that the parties should run according to their constitution.
Post this to you before I come back to Lagos, to the Abuja studio. And this is it. Very quickly, if you can intervene, is the fact that could it be that the position of President Buhari before last week Monday, he's now been advised, legally speaking, and he perhaps have seen that it's made an error in judgment and rescinded that decision. Could it be the situation now?
Shehu, you never heard directly from the president, all right? You heard from one of the actors, Governor El-Rufai, and he said they met with the president, laid the situation before the president, and they succeeded in convincing the president that Bello should act. That is consistent with the position of the president. And that is also consistent with the position of Governor Buni, that in fact he handed over the affairs of the party to Governor Bello before he left the country. Now, in the light of what is happening and in the light of the letter, I think the president may have been advised that considering that the party's convention is going to hold on the 26th, there is no need to rock the boat. So why don't you maintain the status quo? That in fact has not been changed as far as I'm concerned because of that letter that popped up. So what the president is doing is actually being realistic by saying, look, there's no need to rock the boat. We are heading to our destination. Let's stay in this boat and drive it carefully to the destination. And that's exactly what he's doing.
All right. Mr. Adiba, another big challenge here is the many court orders that a lot of them that the party is not even aware of at the moment. Yes. The convention is just less than 10 days away. Yes. Now, we understand now that there are a team of senior advocates of Nigeria, lawyers, that have been set up by the APC to start going from one court to the other to look for where APC may have had one court order or the other to stop this convention. We take a break. And when we come back, we look at what may be in the way of APC from conducting this convention. Senator Gada will tell you that everything is fine, everything is perfect. Well, I expect him to say that. But we still have Mr. Jide Ojo here with me. And at some point, we'll be bringing in Mr. Femi Falana. There's an interesting scenario that is playing out, which we'd like to get the legal opinion of Mr. Femi Falana right on the program. Don't go anywhere. So much more to talk about. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Mr. Curtis Adiba, a lawyer, political strategist in our Lagos studio. Senator Abubakar Agada, a former federal lawmaker and chieftain of the APC. And Mr. Jide Ojo, a political analyst. Three of them are giving insight on the situation of the APC as it presently is right now. One thing I like to clarify, and a lot of Nigerians to know, because there seems to be some confusion, but look, some people will say there's no confusion, there's no ambiguity. If we can bring back the INEC letter on the screen so that we can just wrap up on that note, is the fact that that section that INEC was making reference to does look to me, correct me if I'm wrong, does look to me like not all the meetings, it has to do with elective meetings, is it?
Exactly, yeah. It has to do with meeting where elections will hold. It's not just everyday meeting.
So the next meeting may not apply here?
No, you see, if this forthcoming meeting was to ratify. Yeah. It was more like a change of leadership kind of thing, which is why I think I'm not sure INEC will want to be in everyday meeting of a political party. Yes, and INEC do have the resources. I beg to disagree with my learning friend Curtis. INEC do have enough personnel and could actually hire any personnel to do that. It's about oversighting political parties, and you know it's a constitutional responsibility. So we are the one asking INEC to do the needful to sanitize the electoral process. And this what political parties haven't gotten to know, and which they should just try and get to know, is that they need to get a copy of the electoral 2022. There is a lot of demands. In fact, when I was reading that, the signed copy from the president, political parties now have to give INEC their membership register.
Absolutely.
Both soft copy and hard copy.
I was reading it too, and I was afraid that there are a lot of things that the political parties need to know.
Exactly.
There are new novel, and for the election that they will be prosecuting.
Timelines have changed.
Yeah.
So many timelines have
different
changed.
From what they've
different
seen.
From what
and
they
elections are here already.
Oh,
in the election period.
So the truth has to be said that, you see, with the kind of impunity that has reigned over the last 23 years in our democracy, we actually need an electoral like this. How could the president be justifying that the reason why we cannot do direct primary was because some parties do not have membership register? And is it not a crying shame that we have a party that rules this country for 16 years and could not say, this is our membership register? Let them do claims and objection, publish for the public to see. Now they have to provide both the soft copy and the hard copy 30 days to election.
Yeah.
That is what is demanded.
And on the issue of the funding of political parties and the source of funding, there are few dimensions that have changed.
So many things have changed.
Now, what is your biggest fear, Jide?
my biggest fear.
Thursday is one big one for APC.
Sure.
How that pans out, we'll be watching how. I mean, now things are unfolding ahead of Thursday. How things go on Thursday will be a very big one. And also the convention day that is just about 9 or 10 days away. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is those litigations. 208 court cases and still counting.
That are known.
That are known.
The unknown.
No, that's what I'm saying.
The fear of the unknown
according to the Punch newspaper. According to the Punch newspaper, 208 and still counting. So where do you start? 11 days to convention, no activity. The chairmen were inaugurated, the committees were inaugurated, but newspapers reported that no activity is going on. Today they just published sales of form. 20 million for chairmanship aspirant, 10 million for deputy chairmanship aspirant. And I ask myself, if I pay 20 million and you are still pushing for consensus, does that make sense? How will I pay 20 million and you will still be pushing me towards having a consensus candidate? And meanwhile, this 20 million, when I pay it as an aspirant, is not refundable. Shouldn't that be a consideration that, okay, if we are pushing for consensus ab initio, sell only one form to that consensus candidate, so that issues around withdrawal, pressuring people to withdraw, will not come up. Otherwise, when you now say you are pushing, because that is what is reported in the dailies, that the governors have not started meeting the aspirants to get them to step down for one another. And you see, Senator Makura said he's not stepping down for Senator Abdullahi Adamu, and it has also come out that it was a lie that the president has endorsed Senator Adamu Abdullahi. That there was no.
It's not the first that they said the president has. You know, I mean, I've worked in places where they said Oga said.
That's what is also playing out. Fake news.
So when
fake
you find
news is also another thing you need to be aware of.
Yes.
So
in places where you find Oga said, it's always a problem, isn't it? And when you hear the president said, and that is what is causing the trouble now, because people don't even know what exactly.
You have not heard from the president said directly.
Senator Gada, what is your biggest fear ahead of aside the court cases?
We don't. You see, you already out of mischief framed.
I said it earlier. The problem of the political party is not aside the politician, is every other person aside the politician.
Yeah, because you see.
So we are the one who cause the problem.
You generate the problem in your mental imagination, you magnify it, and you put it forth as if that's the reality.
Was I the one who asked the government police to step aside? Why are you blaming me for the woes of your party, Senator Gada?
No, but you see, the problem with some referees, over dramatize, the control of the scenery. So that is
maybe you people, when you are in the arena, you don't feel the drama. We on the outside, maybe we see more of the drama. I mean, you heard Mr. Jide Ojo and you heard Mr. Adigba analyzing the issues for you. There are major issues that will crumble your party if it's not careful. And that's what we're bringing out to you. And as the leader of the party, and I'm asking, what is your biggest fear?
Most of these claims.
Are they claims or real things?
They are not real. Somebody said we have this number of court cases. Where is the source? I mean, put a question to the guy or to the source of that information, you have some surprises.
No, I have one of those copies. I can show you.
So
one of the court orders. That have been issued since November
last year, yeah.
So that's one, and that's the one that is going around.
Governor Rufai said that they have over 200 cases, court orders. And your party today has raised senior advocate. It's not me saying it. It's in the news that several senior advocates have been raised by your party.
This is a party that has the capacity to manage and take you to the promised land. What is the promised land? Successful convention come 26 March. Soon, bet me, you will be impressed.
I wish you the very best. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming tonight. Please stay with me. I must sincerely thank you, Mr. Adigba, Senator Gada, and Mr. Jide Ocho.